What's up, guys? Nasser coming at you with another multiverse video. I did just wake up. It's a little later in the day, but I did just get up, so if my voice sounds a little lower than normal, that's why. Because I'm like, when you wake up and you're like, your voice is still super low, even though you've been up for a little minute. That's how I am. But regardless of that, we actually got some. We've gotten a couple tweets from prominent people in the multiverse community. A couple from Ajax, and one, I think, from Nakat, where it was somebody quoting Nakat and saying or showing some of the stuff that he was talking about, wanting to improve for the game. And I was gonna not initially make a video on this just because I was like, okay, it's cool to see it, but I didn't really think content creator brain, let me make a video on these tweets. So I've read these tweets before, but for people that don't know anything about this, or aren't on Twitter and don't see these tweets, I wanted to make a video talking about it and also like speculating on all the things that are going to be coming in season 5, because from the little bit that they've showed us, there are a lot of changes that seemingly are going to be getting season 5 where people wanted the game to be a little earlier on. Hopefully season 5 pushes it more in that direction, because I think the game has been getting steadily better. If you just wanted my opinion, it may not be better in the ways that everybody wanted, but I do think it's getting better overall, and I still have fun playing the game. But let's go ahead and read what Ajax said. So this was from New Year's Day. He said, "This year in review may be difficult, but was one of the most exciting years for me. For first full year in game industry / produced / directed gameplay trailers, went from a QA to a CM, which I'm assuming is community manager, and much more. Now 2025 brings even more excitement. I've been alongside the gameplay design team for season 5 combat redesigns." So just off the bat, initially, season 5 is getting a combat redesign. We've been questioning, a lot of people in the multiverse community have been questioning the dev team / the design team, because they've been like, it doesn't feel like they kind of have an idea, and it doesn't seem like they asked the people like Ajax, who might be a little bit more knowledgeable in plat fighters and have experience playing other plat fighters, and getting their input. And we were like questioning, do they do that? And it doesn't seem like they do. And I saw in Crazy Knox video, Crazy Knox, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He actually was streaming, and Ajax was in his chat, and he asked him, he was like, were you not involved with the gameplay design team before? And he said, no, I will now be getting or working alongside them, so I was not in the past. So this is a big change for Ajax. First of all, congrats. But this is also going to seemingly be a big change for combat redesign, because they're actually going to have somebody like Ajax who was at plat fight tournaments and was listening to what people were saying, and can give it to the team and be like, hey, if you weren't thinking about this as a thing we need to start worrying about for the combat in the game, I'm going to give you the voice. Now obviously it's still up to them to implement it, but at least it's gonna feel better to know that, hey, he's directly working with them, instead of in the past we kind of just hoped that they would take his advice, but he never officially said anything. So that's a big change. And then he says, I've also been given the honor of being one of the 2 gameplay designers assigned to one of the upcoming characters in season 5, and we've also gotten a lot of leaks about those 2 characters. Not only am I absolutely thrilled to help bring to you alongside the gameplay team the Multiversus 2025 combat overhaul, but getting to live the lifelong dream of designing a character's gameplay in a fighting / platform fighter game is something I cannot even put into words. It was a long year, one full of ups and downs personally, but when I wouldn't trade for anything, I love what I get to wake up and do now for a living. And although I miss traveling for commentary, I'm happy to still be in a position where I can show love and support for the communities I care for. Here's to 2025, and hope for everyone to find success in their upcoming future. So that was his New Year's tweet, and that kind of got the ball rolling on like, oh shoot, we're getting a 2025 combat overhaul. And not just an overhaul, specifically he called out earlier redesigning combat for 2025 in season 5. So I was like, okay, that's a pretty big change. Then you go to his second tweet he dropped, was it 3 days later? And he was like, super long hit stun, bye bye. So that was like, hold on, wait a minute. If because they did say in the past that they were trying to remove the big hit stun so that if you got hit by, for example, a Morty Dirt, you weren't just launched in the air for like 5 seconds and then they got to hit you again and kill you. It was like, hold on, wait a minute. If you can remove that hit stun, it'll actually feel a lot more fluid and it won't feel like you're just stuck. Because it's not like you were stuck fully, but it was like you got hit, you had to wait a couple seconds, and then that couple seconds of you being launched in the air, they were able to combo you and potentially kill you with a high damage move. So it was like, hold on, wait a minute. Removing super long hit stun is actually another big change that people have been asking for, because that hopefully will help the game not feel as stiff in some aspects and move a lot more fluid. But then the big one that, like, when I saw this, it caught me off guard and made me think about making this in a video, was Nakat from MVS Alert. He says Nakat talks about changes he wants to see in Multiversus. And if you don't know, Nakat is obviously another one of the community managers, but like he's one of the people that was with Ajax in the Into the Verse stream. So you would hope if Ajax joins on the dev team, Nakat and Ajax will be close, and Nakat can talk to Ajax. If Ajax doesn't implement some things, or if people are talking about this, then you would hope Nakat, being another prominent figure in the community, would be able to talk to Ajax and be like, hey, if you weren't already working on this, try to add this, or, you know, we should make this a big precedent because a lot of people are talking about it. And I had not actually watched this video. I just read the thread of tweets, but let's go ahead and listen to this.
2, just make the game faster in general. Ground speed, just increase everybody's ground speed. You obviously don't want tanks zooming around everywhere, but you keep them slow relative to the rest of the cast. 2, just make the game faster in general. Ground speed, just increase everybody's ground speed. You obviously don't want tanks zooming around.
So it says increase, he talks about changes he wants to see in Multiversus. Increase overall game speed, especially ground speed, while maintaining slower relative speed for tanks, which was actually something me and my homie Joe, when we were hopping on and grinding ranked like a day or two ago, we're talking about. It was like, it'd be cool to have the game speed up and be faster, but then you gotta be careful with that, because you can't have tanks like Jason fucking moving at light speed with how big their hitboxes are. So they gotta still be a little slower, but everybody else you would hope and be a little faster.
Land cancels, obviously I already talked about that. Land cancels, obviously I already talked about that. Doing a move and gliding through the ground is very jarring. It also adds to the problem of moves that have a lot of drift on them, aka moves that are able to carry people, looking at Powerpuff Girls and Finn. They lose the ability to do that when spaced close to the ground. Overall though, moves shouldn't do that in the first place, right? That's my opinion. Moves should not carry people across the stage in the first place. Aerial land cancels will inherently make the game faster by design, while also allowing for more natural invariance of combos between ground to aerial state and aerial to grounded state. So overall, just net positive for combat, period. It would be very helpful universally across the cast.
So in this one, he says, make aerial land cancels universal to enhance fluidity and combat variability. And that was one of the things I was saying. I was like, if you just make a lot of things cancel a lot easier and more universal, because sometimes people could cancel the things and it's like, hold on, wait a minute, he canceled that, and it starts zooming across the screen because of how quickly he can get in and out of that cancel. It was like, if you can, I was talking to my homie, I was like, if you can make a lot of things cancel, and obviously like you don't want everything to cancel too early, but if you can make things cancel universally to where it feels good and natural, then that, as he said, will just make combat feel faster overall, because I'm not stuck doing a move for as long. So this is another one.
Wave landing is really cool, it's really expressive, but there's 2 issues here. One, in our game you get charged for it. So because you're getting charged for wave landing, it's like, here's this cool thing you could do, but don't do it because you're losing meter. So typically players that like to do this, which they should like to do it, it's fun, it's cool, it looks good. It's also effective too in mixing people. I'm gonna watch you do it, I'm gonna watch you burn yourself out, and then you're not gonna be able to really do it anymore, and I'm just gonna hit you. Period. I'm gonna hit you. And it's not gonna be good because you don't have an invincible dodge or anything. You can't even block when you're burned out. You know what that means? It's open season. The moment I hit you and put you in a combo that typically wouldn't have worked when you had meter, I might kill you if I don't get massive damage. That is a huge deal. What does that tell me? Why would I ever wave land? There's no point in doing it.
Yep.
I'm literally killing myself in the game, like, by doing this. It's terrible. So because of that, I'm not wave landing. All right, then what was the point, right? So I would make wave landing free entirely.
Yeah, that is one of those things where
wave landing is really,
if you make the wave landing / wave dashing free, is just a thing that people can do, and it will make the game feel better to them. Because obviously in like Tekken and stuff, people wave dash and stuff, and you know it's not a thing that's required. You can play the game without doing it, but it's like if you do take the extra step to learn it, you shouldn't be now not what's the word? You shouldn't now have to worry about, oh, well, I can do this cool wave landing thing, and it might like help me do some like combos or like get in certain positions that I've not been able to get into because of how I move in that state. But then the problem is, as he said, it costs a meter. Somebody waits, or you do it when you don't have enough meter. The next thing you know, you get punished for it, and now it's like, well, now I don't want to do it if I'm gonna die for it.
There's another thing to make, and also there's another thing to make wave landing even better. In this game, when you wave land, you're not actionable immediately. So, in my opinion, when you perform a wave land, let the player choose if they want to jab or they want to jump, or if they want to be actionable, let them do it mid-slide. You feel me? Not just like at the end of the slide. You want to let people do that immediately so they can create conversions off of successful like wave land reads. And also there's another thing.
I didn't think about that, but I have like said something similar to this, but I don't think I was talking specifically about wave landing. I think I was more on the lines of like sometimes when you're rolling and like you're trying to do a move out of a roll, you like you said, you kind of have to wait towards the end of the roll, which I understand why, but then it's like when you do it like that, sometimes you're trying to punish somebody earlier and then it don't come out, and then you end up getting punished, and then it's like, but I was trying to read and punish them, but you got punished for trying to do that. So then it's that thing of, oh, well, why would I try to punish people like that when it just gets me punished, you know?
I would remove auto tech. You know what I mean? I would remove auto tech. I don't like auto teching. I'm like manual teching. I think players should have more agency in being able to choose when they want to tech and how they want to tech. I think adding in like a neutral, like you have your neutral tech, you have tech to the left, tech to the right. In some realm where you can make a tech state that actually throws out an attack, so people have to also react to or respect that too, which will still be punishable, obviously, would be good. You know what I mean?
I like that at the end there where he said you can do an attack out of a tech, because that happens a lot to me where somebody forces me into an auto tech, because that's the one thing I don't like about auto tech. I like it in the sense of it gives you a way to not get looped for a dumbass infinite combo. But the thing I don't like about it is that if somebody auto techs, right, and you accidentally hold left when you're trying to hold right. So like say you hit your stick to the left and try to go to the right to try to tech to the right, but your stick pulls you to the left. You can't attack out of that. So if the opponent, or if you're teching to the right, if you somehow get clipped by a move while you're teching, then you will get punished for it, and now you're getting hit again when you weren't even trying to tech in that direction, and they didn't even properly tech or read you. They just kind of threw out an attack that maybe had a big enough hitbox and it might have caught you, and then it's like, yo, that fucking sucks. He didn't even do anything skillful. He just got lucky. And I do think that making it manual was something that I said like a while ago, and a lot of people like were asking, can you make it manual? Because then, yeah, people that are noobs and may not know what to do it may get hit by some shit. Because people on Twitter already make videos talking about how, oh my god, I got hit by this combo. This combo needs to be taken out the game. This has been in the game for months. And then you look at the combo and it's like, bro, you had a chance here and here to DI out and you didn't do it. Or you had a chance here to auto tech away from the person and you didn't do anything. You either auto tech neutral because you just didn't do anything, or you auto tech in the direction that they read. And it's like the auto tech in the direction that they read is also equally, you gotta not do that. And you also gotta not tech in such a predictable way so that they can just read you that easy. because people only make videos complaining about stuff like that. And it's like, if you're actually good, it wouldn't happen to you. If you actually thought, it wouldn't happen to you. But I also do think if you make it manual, then you give players the ability to control it in some way, and it makes it feel better instead of it just being automatic and you can't control it at all. So I do agree with that.
Platforms, which brings up platforms. Being able to use platforms in a way, well, hit pause just needs a big reduction across the board, because that will also help with game feel and speed in general. Like, it just literally needs, the hit pause just needs to, bruh, I would heavy-handedly tone that down. But anyway, with platforms, platforms are essential to platform fighters. One, it helps with disadvantage and advantage state. Counterpicking stages is very important in a platform fighter.
If
you know this character has better combos because of a stage that has a certain platform layout, you're probably going to want to ban that stage, right? In a tournament set. So you have the ability to give stages more, I want to say, more nuance in terms of like how they affect a match, but also characters can be designed in a way where this character benefits from this stage but doesn't benefit from this stage, right? And those are all important factors too in a platform fighter. But the thing with platforms is that here it takes longer to drop through a platform, because funny enough, having to press down and A is hard. Not that it's hard to press those two buttons, but it definitely takes away from how quickly you are able to fall through a platform and actually perform an action.
Bro, if you know me, and I love Multiversus, I love Smash Bros. I've played every Smash game, played a little bit of Brawlhalla and some other platform fighters. The one thing that I have complained about in this game, and like has been a big thing of mine for a minute, and when they made a when they made an update to it and were like, you should be able to fast fall through platforms easier, because before you had to like hold down to do it. All right, I'm back. But my main thing with the whole platform thing is they have made changes to it, and I think it's a little easier than it was at the beginning of the first season. But I still think for sure it is sometimes very difficult, because like sometimes if you're doing a move on accident because you didn't try to land on the platform, and then you press down to try to go through the platform, sometimes it feels like it takes a second, or sometimes it's like, oh, well, now I can't fall through the platform because my opponent's down there charging up a move. So it's like, well, fuck, now I just gotta run off the platform. So like, drop it through platforms if you could make it so that like it was just easier sometimes, or sometimes just flat out like, I know it would be a big hindrance to like combat, but like me personally, if there was an option to just not land on platforms, bro, I'd take it. Unless I jump through the platform to land on it, don't make me land on that platform. I know that's just a me thing, because I just hate how platforms are now, but like that's just me personally.
I guess the last thing, would be like with shields. I don't think if you block a debuff, you should get the debuff anyway. So if Stripe hits my shield with a fair, I shouldn't have a reticle over my head at all. At all. There should be no reticle over my head. Like Ignite shouldn't be going through shield. Like all debuffs, in my opinion, do not go through shield. You blocked it. You blocked the move. Like, you shouldn't be getting punished for that.
That is just a flat out. I feel like that one was just a big oversight that they didn't think about. And they just haven't addressed it yet. Because like shields haven't been in the game for that long. They were added like at the mid-season, and the mid-season update was like a week before like the update for like where Marceline came out. So like they've not had too many big chances to change that. So I feel like season 5 they'll more than likely change that, because that's just a big glaring one. That's like the Stripe one, for example. If I block it, why the fuck is Stripe still able to shoot me with the reticle? Because that shouldn't even been put on because I blocked his move, So I feel like that's a big one.
It's only and then in this game, and it's only this game that does this. But if you hit a shield, you go into the whiff branch of your move. So people have like even more time to punish you if they block your move. The problem with this is that it takes away from the need for spacing to actually matter on someone's shield. you know, which is a skill thing too. People should be rewarded for spacing properly. People should also be rewarded for approaching with shield and making it so that they force an opponent to misspace a move. So there's a layer of that interactivity that's just gone because you go into a whiff state when you hit someone's shield, which also slows down like the game feel and game speed in general too. So those are all things I would personally change. A lot of the stuff I wanted forever. And then
that's a fair one, because I never really thought about that, because I like that aspect of it to where it's the whiff version of moves that you can punish it, because specifically I felt like that because there was some moves that were just too fast and hard to punish.
Only this game that does this, but if you hit a shield, you go into the whiff branch of your move. So people have like even more time to punish you if they block your move. The problem with this is that it takes away from the need for spacing to actually matter on.
And that is the big thing that I want, because like I'll try to space somebody's shield out and then I get punished, and it just is like, damn, you might as well just not try to space a move out and hit it with shield. You might as well just run up and just either hit shield or just hit shield break, so that you don't have to worry about potentially hitting the shield and the next thing you know getting punished for it. That is something that another thing that should be reworked, so that shields actually have more like strategy to them.
I don't give a shit about like getting credit for anything. I don't give a shit about like getting credit for anything. Like I don't have like this trip where I want to be seen as the guy or the big guy or anything like that. I only care about the game getting better. I only care about characters feeling better, and I only care about people having fun. Whether you're a competitor or you're casual, I just want people to enjoy the game and have fun. That's it. That's the mission. I don't give a fuck about anything. That's the only thing I care about. I don't need to be seen as the guy. Damn, man, yo, Nakat had great ideas, bro. You know what? This guy, like, you got like promote him. Like, no, I don't give a shit about none of that. Feel like
beat the shit out of him with him.
You don't gotta force scenarios or anything for that to happen. You could just let your love and knowledge show, and ultimately allow it to just benefit people. And that's the real reward. And I love this genre to death. Not just multiverses. I love the genre itself to death. So I just want this game to just pop off. And I think it could do that as long as it gets better.
That is one thing I won't say is that he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that what's it called? I forgot the word that goes with it, but he doesn't want the recognition. He doesn't care about getting the recognition, but I think in certain situations like this, where people are questioning the management of the game with the people in charge, I think he should be the one to, since he has a lot of experience in plat fighters in general, I do think he should get promotion and be more hands-on with the game, because when you care deeply about something, yeah, you don't have to care about getting recognition, but I think it's a thing where we know we should put you in a higher position of influence of the game versus where you are currently. I do think that is something. He said there's a lot of missed in here, so you can watch the full thing. It's only 30 minutes, but these are basically the big points of everything that he talked about, and a lot of it I agree with. A lot of it, if they did all of these things, all 9 of these points for the combat overall, I feel like this would be a big change for the game in a positive way, because of all of these, the biggest one that people care about is just increase overall game speed, and especially grounded speed. And then obviously tone it down a little bit for the slower characters like the big bruiser tanks and all them big characters like Iron Giant. Make them a little slower, but speed them up a little bit, and then speed everybody else up. And then people would be happy with that. But then you do that on top of all these other little changes, it will just make the game speed feel faster overall. And that is the biggest complaint, is that people are like, the game is not like the beta. It's not fast and snappy like the beta. It's not as responsive. So if you did all of these things in this combat overhaul, I feel like it would go a long way in giving people what they want. And I feel like that's the state the game's in right now. Just give people what they want and let them do what they want to do in the game in terms of like expressiveness with their character, but also just like the way that they move around in the game and play the game. Because I do think that I don't think just overall, I don't think every single change in here is gonna come, but I do think a lot of these big ones should come. Like, I'm not having high expectations, be like, I expect everything in this list to be in the next update. But I'm like, if they just do, for me personally, if they do the increase in game speed, if they do the fluidity with the air combat, if they remove wave landing so that, you know, that doesn't have a cost, make actionable mid slide, I don't think that they would need to do that immediately. If they do auto attacking, that's another big one. If they do that one, I would love the simplifying drop into platforms, but it's not like, that one's not like the super big one. If they do this one too, with the shield and preventing debuffs from going through shield, I think that those ones, if they gave us those ones, I would be happy. The removing of whiff state when hitting a shield to reward spacing and shield pressure, I do think that's another good one. But I could see that one, like, on one hand, it's not that big of a change, so I can see it happening. But on the other hand, it's like, it's also like, it's not the craziest thing. But if they make shields remove debuffs, prevent debuffs from being applied on you and stuff, then it also could be that they would just do this as well, you know. So I could realistically see all of these happening, but I could see like maybe 5 or 6 of these things actually being put into the game, and like it actually being like, hey, they added this change, and it'd be like, okay, cool, I'm happy with that, we're cool with that. If they did all of these, then it, you know, we're living, we're eating. Because the only thing that we'd be missing then, if they did all the combat changes that we wanted, they giving us more stuff in terms of like extra game modes for the casuals. Obviously you could still add more, but they've done that. People still don't like elusive variants, so maybe tweak that a little bit. Then depending on how this Jason Rift goes, because that still hasn't came out as when I'm recording this, if the Jason Rift event thing goes well, repeat that every season for a new character, but do that for every new character, obviously, or a big skin for the new characters, like an elusive variant for a new character. You could do that. You could do what me and somebody else were talking about potentially, where you make the what is it called? Where you make the new fuck is it called? Oh yeah, where you make the Rift mode basically a Mortal Kombat story mode for the game. That would be cool, to where you like introduce a lore, you go over an interconnected story every season that changes and expands. That'd be cool. And then, like you said, you throw in those extra Rift modes with the rogue Rifts. That would be cool, and make Rifts actually have a purpose and want to play them more. So I fuck with that, and I do think that like the combat changes overall are the thing that like is needed the most, because all those other things are cool, but if people don't fuck with the base combat of the game, they're not gonna play the extra arena mode and all the other stuff that they might like. They need the base game to be fun for that. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree, disagree. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. I'll see you on the next video though. Peace.
Little baby, you out, you know you was wrong. You lying, watch your tone. I'm too fine to be so alone.